Good morning, everybody. I am thrilled that you're here. It's such a beautiful day, and I'm glad that you're here with me. If you don't know who I am, I'm Rita Hickman. I'm a body-mind expert and a shiatsu massage therapist, and my specialty is helping women who are in toxic or narcissistic relationships really help heal. I'm still sorting out being able to see who's, watching at any time and checking on messages. I should be able to get that figured out within the next few days. But for today, you just get me and just assume I'm saying hello to everybody. And I'll get back to everybody with their comments a little bit later, okay? Cool. So if you're anything like me, well, you may or may not be. It took me a long time to get into energy work. Possibly because I was from the mindset that said, that I was helpless, that I was hopeless, there was nothing I could do, that I was trapped, that, you just had to learn how to make the best of things, that this was what life was going to look like. It's a very pragmatic, practical attitude. And so even though I'm in the massage business, you'd think that would be a natural fit. It took me for forever to really embrace energy work. And I started out through the doorway of using Asian medicine, because in Asian medicine everything is energy work, and I still hold to that belief system that everything that exists is energy, and the science has really been backing it up. And over the last few years, I've gotten into a wonderful author named Gregg Braden. And Gregg Braden is a geologist that has also dove deeply into the metaphysics of spirituality. So he's really blended science and spirituality, and he stays cutting edge for what they're saying about how all of this works, including the science of energy work, which, once I started to get the science, once I started getting something that said, hey, you know what, this really works, that wasn't faith-based, that wasn't just based on me believing without anything that I could tangibly kind of grab onto. When I started to get some science behind it, I really started to be like, hey, this stuff must work. This might work. And I started to use more and more of it in my own life. The problem is most of us turn to energy work when we need it, when we're desperate for it, when we've just been knocked down by a narcissist, when we've just had a verbal assault, when we know we're going to be walking in and walking on eggshells. We try to pull out the miracle when we are least, when we're most down, when we're biggest in our hole, when there isn't anything, we feel helpless and hopeless and there isn't anything we can do about it. But in reality, according to the science, which I just love, the best time to use energy work is right now, is when you feel good, is when it's a beautiful day, is when the sun is shining and your heart is singing and the grass is growing and flowers are blooming and you have a sense of peace. Now, even if you ask, even if you talk to people who were survivors of the Holocaust, they will even tell you nothing is pure, horrific awfulness all of the time. There are moments, there are bright moments, there are happy moments where just for a glimpse, you have peace and you have joy and you feel like maybe this might work out. We all have that, and especially in narcissistic relationships. These narcissistic relationships are not always bad. They have this really huge, up and down sort of thing. Narcissistic relationships keep us hooked because there's these huge moments of amazingness and joy and love and concern and care and empathy. And maybe they're doing it to manipulate you. Absolutely. And so you're cynical. Totally understand that. Maybe that's why they're using it, but still those moments exist. Those moments exist where you feel a sense of connection and peace. And even in the worst situations, we have these moments when we feel connection and peace and a groundedness and alignment with things, even if it just lasts for a second. This is the best time to do energy work, because energy work works because you mentally and emotionally are in alignment with your vision, with what you want to see. Energy healing works because you or someone else is able to hold you in the vision, in an alternate reality where you have peace and love and kindness and things are going smoothly and you have enough money flowing in and you're getting along with people. Energy work works because we can hold a strong vision, an emotional and a mental vision of the life we really want to live, of the gifts we really want to receive. Because it's this emotional piece and mental piece, when our mind and our heart get into alignment, when they're on the same page, when what we feel and what we think are on the same page, that is what shapes our external reality. Science is showing it physically shapes the circumstances. So we're creating outside of us. Oh, look, there's a butterfly. I know I'm easily distracted. It's through this that we shape the reality around us. And we shape it by taking these moments of peace and joy and beauty and love and groundedness and using them to be present to the person we want to be, the life we want to live. Here are two of my favorite ways to visualize. One is when I have those moments of joy and happiness, I visualize as if I were an 80-year-old woman remembering her life, remembering the adventures that I'm going to go on, but maybe haven't gone on yet. But when I'm 80, they've already happened. I've already lived them. I've experienced France and Australia and gone to California and laid on the beach and met Oprah and got interviewed by Gayle King and did retreats and workshops. In that visualization, this is what my life looked like. It's like a life reflection and a reliving of what I've done up till now. Now, Rita, at this age, hasn't done a lot of these things. I've done quite a bit, of course, but hasn't done a lot of these things. But when I visualize as if I'm looking back on the life that I've lived and how fabulous it was and how my relationships turned out and people healed and connections happened and the joy and the brightness came. When I remember that, when I sit in that feeling of, oh yeah, this was the experience I had, this is what shapes our reality. It's that alignment of our heart and our head. And one way to align is touching your heart and being in that space of love and compassion and joy and something that feels really good, and then visioning as if you are doing the thing you want to be doing or receiving the thing you want to be receiving. My second favorite way to visualize is, let's say I'm driving down the road home, and I'll think to myself, yeah, I'm really tired after that wonderful, amazing week-long trip I just had to Japan. I'm so glad I went, and I saw the cherry blossoms, and I visited all these spiritual sites, and I connected with all of these amazing spiritual mystical healers. I am in the space of as if I just accomplished this wonderful thing that I wanted to do, as if my relationship just worked out, or as if I just stood up for myself, as if I just attracted all of these amazing people in my life. And I'm going to tell you something. When I started to do this visualization that really connected my head and connected my heart in a wonderfully aligned way, that's when things really started to move and grow and evolve for me. The science is all saying, quantum physics and all of the experiments and all of the great information. And if you want more information about it, check Greg Braden. I'm now, I used to laugh at all that stuff, and now I'm pretty well convinced. And I'm seeing it work in my own life. I'm seeing how the joy and the feeling, not the asking for, but the being in, that feeling of what I've received is what is shaping the reality around me, is what is creating the experiences I want to have. And you can use this in your narcissistic relationships too. You can start creating an experience in your mind of love and compassion and communication and growth and healing and strength and wonderfulness. You can start creating that in your mind. And maybe this person that you're in a relationship with, maybe this narcissistic or toxic person isn't the person that you end up doing it with, but this will be created in your life. When you get into that feeling of what love feels like and joy and happiness and what good relationships and happy relationships and adventures feel like, that's what creates it around us. And even if it's not true, even if we're not living in a simulation, even if we're not living in a matrix, even if we're not living in a holographic universe, even if that's not true, we have at least a 50% chance or more, that if we do this visualization, that we will evolve, that it will move me forward. But if we stay stuck thinking that we're helpless and hopeless and there's nothing we can do and we just have to make the best of it and how do we power through, that's where we're going to stay stuck. Now, the really exciting thing is, and they've had so many wonderful experiments to prove this too, that when people come together and have a shared vision like they did in, I think it was New York, where they did in New York to bring down crime, they had people come together and meditate. Thousands of people come together and meditate on that peace and love. Crime significantly went down. Even the chief of police came on board and said, you know what, I totally didn't believe this, but I checked the numbers and it absolutely worked. That was when we had a shared vision, a shared movement of reality of what we wanted. So when we start to share our visions with other people, when I do these live streams and I tell you about what I'm doing and what I'm creating, I'm putting it out there to all of these people. So this is your homework assignment for today. I want you to come together with a vision that you would love for your life and share it either on this page or with me privately or with a close friend or with your stuffed animals or with God or with whomever. I want you to share that reality that you desire to have and be in it. Be in it even if it's just for 3 minutes of basking in the love of what love feels like. Basking in the joy that you know is coming to you. When you do these things, that's what creates the reality in front of you. Now, you're talking to somebody who was one of the biggest cynics when it came to metaphysics. I didn't get into massage therapy for metaphysical reasons. I got into massage therapy because I could feel things. I could feel the bones and the muscles, and I could see the neural connections, and I could see the nervous system. That's what got me into this healing work. But as I've gone further along and dove deeper into it, like down a rabbit hole, I'm realizing that there's so much information and so much science which supports these beliefs. And since I started to put them into my life, I've really seen the results. I'm not a fly, I'm not a, hippy-dippy dreamer type. I grew up Catholic, and that made me very cynical in a lot of ways. It made me I was very angry at the church and very frustrated with the situation. And so I had a lot of cynicism when it came to prayer and when it came to energy work, because I just didn't want to hear it. I wanted the facts. I wanted how it worked. But the deeper I dive into this hole, the deeper I dive into metaphysics over the years, and I see the things that prove it and the science that backs it up, I'm like, you know what? This is how this works. It's a technology. It's not a faith-based thing. It's not based on not understanding how it works. It's actually a technology of how we work and how we shape the world around us. So don't forget your homework assignment today, which is to create that reality that you want to have in your mind as if you're living it, and to share it with another human being so that it's out there, to plant the seeds. So you not just have you living this reality, you have them living this reality with you. Okay? It's a very cool thing. Now, if you're feeling stuck and you need help with this, and we all need help, don't forget to look for the group. I changed the name to to Healthy Strategies to Cope with Narcissists. That's what it is. Healthy Strategies to Cope with Narcissists. It's on Facebook. Ask to join. If you already belong, make sure you share it with other people and invite people to join, because this is this shared community, this shared vision that we have for a peaceful, loving, wonderful world where people who deal with these mental health issues like narcissism, like bipolar, like borderline personality, where they're able to get the things that they need in life and evolve and grow and become beautiful, amazing, productive members of society. This is the shared vision we want to have. One of healing, not just for us, but for healing for everybody. And when we come together in these groups and we hold these visions for ourselves and for somebody else, not I wish or I hope or maybe or I want, but in recognizing that it's in sitting in this belief, sitting in this knowingness and feeling it and aligning our head and aligning our heart in that direction, our emotions give it the energy, give it the drive. When we do this together, we create a reality and a future that's so much bigger than us. And don't we desperately need it right now? We need us to come together and start shaping a future that's built on peace and love and healing and acceptance and compassion, and not based on survival and self-preservation and fear and anger. This is the direction we want to go. So if that's who you want to be, if that's what you want to do, look for the group, Healthy Mindsets to Cope with Narcissists. Ask to join, invite other people to join, and let's come together and really change the world, shall we? Cool. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll be getting back to comments a little bit later because, as I said, I haven't figured out how to multitask with it yet, where I can see them and respond on camera, but I will. I'm doing it already. I've got ideas. So I'll see you later, and I hope you enjoy this fantabulous day. I know I'm going to. Talk to you later.